Hi, this is Pete Ekman with the RoboZone podcast. We are in build week 3. We're going to talk some robots. We're going to talk some Reefscape, and then we're going to talk about a certain color of an alliance that no one's ever heard before. So with that, let's get some introductions done. Tim, you're first. Tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Tim Lawrence. Not officially affiliated with a team right now. I guess 302, but unofficially, officially.
Hall of Fame 302, right?
There you go.
There you go. Bruce, you're up next.
Well, I'm going to finish Tim. Tim was our lead mentor. He retired. He helped 201, and he helped a bunch of other people, and he's a superstar in FIRST Robotics. But my name is Bruce Stone. I'm the lead competition mentor for Team 302.
And Tim's going to talk about the alliance. We're not going to spoil that yet, but Tim's has a new venture, which we're all
New
involved
venture.
with. We'll get there. Last up, we have Josh. Please
Yeah,
introduce.
guys. Josh Dunstan, lead technical mentor and drive coach for FRC Team 3357, the Comets. Once again, happy to be here.
And my nemesis.
Nah,
Just from a
just
joshing, get it? Joshing perspective. Joshing, Josh.
yeah,
Got it.
stop joshing around.
Yeah,
Jeez,
that's it. My dad joke book I got for Christmas is working. So welcome, guys. We're in build week 3. I can't believe we're in week 3 already, and the pressure's on. So we got a couple more weeks to go before week 0, and then going right into week 1. So I've asked this, and I think we're not a month out from kickoff. So I'll ask Josh, you first. What was your reaction to kickoff and Reefscape? What do you think about the game so far?
It's really fun. I'm really happy that we have a symmetric field instead of a rotational field for the first time. Um, from a selfish perspective, it lets us actually run drive practice in a meaningful way. Um, and then really excited on this seems to be one of the first years in a long time where people feel like they don't have to do everything and they can still be a incredible asset to an alliance. So for the first time in a long time, Comets will not be participating in every outcome of the game come district competition.
Spiciness. Love it. Bruce, what do you think of the game so far?
I like it too. I think it allows, I think, all levels to engage. Whether you just want to pick up algae, all the algae that'll be on the ground and just keep processing it, or say you're just going to do the coral and just run back and forth and try and do coral. Or I think defense is going to be part of this game. It may not be week 1, but you get to week 4 and there's going to be pesky robots that are just out there trying to get it. And now with Swerve kind of leveling the playing field and some of the assets that have come out on the internet about building Swerve and code that's auto generating. Now everybody can do it if they've got a little bit of money and so it really levels the playing field. I don't know if you need to do everything. We've got concepts to do everything. We'll see if it fits on the robot and meets the weight challenge, but the it I think it's dynamic. I think it's going to be very different too because the scoring is different. The ranking points is different. They changed a lot of things this year and added so many elements. It's going to be exciting.
So less predictable. Is that a good way to put it?
Less predictable.
Less predictable. Tim, you're not coaching yet. You've
Nope.
been there, but have you watched the game animation? Do you know about the game?
I know the game.
Okay, so
It,
tell me your
it
reaction then.
it's very similar to the my favorite year, which was Power Up. So I look back and I see all the similarities of that game with the twist of being a half field basically. And I'm actually kind of disappointed that I'm not involved with the team this year because it really seems like an interesting and challenging game this year because of all the different aspects. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great game to watch, believe it or not.
Hey,
Well,
Tim, if you want to join us,
no,
you
no,
can
no,
come
no,
out to
no,
No, wait, wait, wait,
302.
wait.
no.
You're
Hold
right in
on.
Lake Orion.
No,
You're more than welcome to come out every single night.
no, Tim, you work in Battle Creek. You can support a Battle Creek team that only has 3 mentors. So you can come help the Robo Beavers.
Tim,
There
you
you go.
frequent Grand Rapids. Come to Comets.
You're a precious commodity, Tim. See, you feel special.
I do. Thank you.
So let's go back to Bruce. Bruce, where's the team at? Tim kind of let me the cat out of the bag. I kind of know where you're at, but where's the team at right now?
So we have an alpha robot or prototype. We call it our protobot. It is it should be done wiring tomorrow. It's got everything on it except for the ground intake, and we just didn't put that on because it probably just going to put it on the comp bot as a ground intake, but kind of fully done. We've got everything, and now we're starting to cut all the pieces and preparing to build a competition robot with everything we've just learned.
Okay. Interesting you said ground intake. We'll get to there. Josh, where's the comments at right now?
Yeah, we're I think they're just wrapping up the last of the main subsystems for the practice bot or alpha bot, as Bruce put it. Um, we have all of them in pieces. With the age of our team this year, we found that we can actually do better parallel development by testing subsystems off the robot first. So um, I'm expecting when I get back into Michigan for Saturday morning practice that task number one will be full integration of the practice bot. So
And in case anyone doesn't know, you're not in Michigan right now with the team, right, Josh? Where
yeah,
are you at right now
I
during
decided
build
that it was
season?
a good. I decided it was a good time to go take a nice ski trip with a bunch of friends. So,
That's
oops.
that's a good no. It's a good way. It's a good reminder that Jay Tembrick, who I interviewed last week, said he takes a vacation in the build season so that he doesn't get burned out. So good on you to not get burned out during the season, Josh.
It's fun. Just have a little
Yes,
bit of fun outside of robots.
yes, have to do that because we don't need burnout. You're a valuable mentor as your nemesis. I'm giving you that. So we talked about the game a little bit. We talked about robots. Bruce, why are you doing a ground intake for this year?
So we believe, and kind of talking about the strategy of the game, that, and we've played a lot of human robot. We've got a field. We've had kids running around. We kind of figured it all out. And what we learned is that without defense, you can score a lot of coral quickly. You get some good robots that are doing the coral, and the coral becomes um, yeah, you may not fill the whole thing, but you may get to a point where you're just filling the bottom layer and it's not going to be scoring a lot of points. Now the point differentiator, good teams against good teams is processing. And so the ability to suck your robot in and then go down and collect balls from the other end and again go process, just process. And with the update that came up, 2 weeks ago, where you can only hold, I think, three algae in the processor at a time, you got to do something with them. And I think that's going to end up turning out to be a um, a strategy of how you're going to play the algae. And
Okay.
so putting a ground intake on there real quick. I mean, it doesn't take much. They've got, Rev did it in their minimum concept. There's a number of different with the RA3Ds that all did. It's super easy to go pick it up and control it, but now be fast and quick and be good at doing it. I honestly believe that there will be robots that come out that only are going to do algae. Their strategy is a swerve robot just doing algae. They're just going to process it because there always has to be algae in the field. We've built the
The reef.
the correct size.
Yep.
You can only fit like 5 balls in there before you start throwing them and they fall out. They just bounce out
Oh, you're talking
Interesting.
about in
Is that the number,
in the
Bruce?
barge.
barge.
And
Is that the
so
number, Bruce?
what's that?
Five? That's how many you can get in there is five?
We think that you can get in there 5 before they start bouncing out. You can get more in there, but you have to lob them in and they bounce. And so if you have one bounce on another one, it's not staying in.
Right.
Now we did
Thanks for
figure
the
out if
help.
you put backspin on it as you're shooting it and you get serious backspin, you may be able to let it get to sit. But now you're
Like in
talking about
22.
really good human players.
What about uh what about placing in with the robot?
So we're going to be able to place with the robot. Um, and so we have a ground intake, but we also have an intake where we're going to be able to control them. And so you can put them up there, but putting them up on your side may or may not be the right strategy because now you fill up your side. So the human player, if they process on that side, have to give them back to you, and somebody can play that game on you too. So you got to figure out. My opinion is algae and defense are going to be differentiators in this game. Coral
Interesting.
is going to be the meat and potatoes.
Very interesting. I didn't think we were going to talk about, I did not feel that we were going to talk about algae in this capacity today.
I could be
I
wrong.
love it.
We'll see.
I love it.
All
Okay.
right, so we played together in 18, Bruce.
Yes, we did.
You saw how tightly we could pack cubes in 18. Why not let a robot place that tightly in 25?
Because they bounce. And there's all kinds of
But
rules about touching it and how close you can get, how tall your elevator is going to get to be able to get up over the top. And you may be able to stack them. You might be able to stack them all in there. There's still going to be balls. You can't fit enough balls in there. You can't. We think you can get probably you can get 5 balls if you just place them and then they start bouncing out. Say you get really good at it and you start placing them in, you're probably only going to get 7. And
oh,
both
it's not
sides
that
getting
tall. It's
7
seven
in,
and a
there's
half
still
feet.
balls available.
It's only 7.5 feet up. It's only what, 10 inches past top of the reef.
Yes, but that's been our whole setup. That's the one thing we concluded.
You have more setup than I do, so I'm happy for the info.
I'm going to test this theory on Thursday because we have a full, not a full barge, we have a half barge, right?
Right.
So we'll test that theory on Wednesday. I'll report back. We'll see what happens. It'll give my human players something to do other than, mess around with tools. So
Tools.
practice. So that was one of the things that we want to talk about. So that's some good input, but more importantly, because the 4 of us are here, Tim, we're 4 people on your board, including yourself, but would you like to introduce the Alliance color and what that Alliance color is going to do going forward?
Sure. So starting last build season, I came up with the idea of starting a nonprofit that'll benefit teams in Michigan and probably eventually outside of Michigan, but for now the focus is in Michigan. It's basically to help teams that don't have the funds that the larger teams have. And where we're starting right now is with parts. So I started collecting parts. I have probably 2 or 3. I have over $3,000 or $4,000 worth of used parts and new parts right now. And I'm putting them all on a website. They will all be free of charge for teams that need them. The only thing they'll have to do is pay for shipping. And it allows them to get access to things like extra PDPs or brushless motors, swerve drives, motor controllers. There's a very vast array of parts on there right now. A lot of pneumatics, thanks to the Comets. They've been more than generous with the amount of parts that they've provided us. But so far, I've had donations from 302 with their help with facilitating storage space. And they're also going to be helping me with some of the cataloging and some of the packaging at some point. And then the Comets, obviously, they filled the back of my pickup truck on a trip over to Grand Rapids. And then most recently, I have the Cybercats 5430, 5436.
Yep.
Team 201, the Feds, and then the Thunder Chickens. I just was texting with their mentor today. I'm going to pick up some more stuff with them from them on Saturday. So, but this is the first part of it. As soon as we get our 501c3, then I'm going to start going after corporate donations so that we can get tools and more new parts, hopefully from like CTR and Rev and any other sponsors that I can get. And then ultimately what I'd like to do is be able to sponsor teams too with donations. So it's the starting point, but it's progressing fast. It's progressing a lot faster than I thought. I wasn't sure how fast this was going to go, and it's turning into being a lot. There are a lot of generous teams out there, and I'm just honestly thankful for them. It's an amazing thing.
So that we announce it
So
properly and we work on a marketing plan, which I'll talk to you after this session, is what is it called? What's the organization called?
Red Alliance.
And your website, or I
So
should say our website address is?
so it'll be there. There will be two websites. You can either get to it, redalliance.net or theredalliance.net. I've got both of them. So that way, if somebody mixes them up, they can find it either way. So, but yeah, it's the theredalliance.net is up and running right now. I'm still working on a few of the details, but there's a couple hundred parts out there, all cataloged, ready to go. So we just need to get the word out to the teams that could use these parts, and they can start coming and getting.
So, Tim, I'm glad you put it in a nice nutshell and a nice package and put a bow on top of it. Me personally, I felt very proud that you asked me to be part of this. I know that we talked about this. It's been over a year ago that we started talking about
Yeah.
this, and I know Bruce and Josh, not speaking for you guys, but just from my perspective, this is something I feel is very important because I've started a team just like anyone else has, and getting those parts and trying to meet the level of competition in a quick way when you have no money at all to go to the redalliance.net and possibly get some stuff that can help your team, not just now, but after the season, as well as those big teams that have six-figure budgets, not naming teams, two-digit teams out there, but they know who they are and they watch this podcast, have a lot of stuff on the shelf. In fact, the reason that I joined you, Tim, is that I remember very vividly, and I'm going to throw a good mention out to 302. I was at state championships 3 years ago now, and I went up to Bruce and I said, "Hey, Bruce, what do you do with all the old parts that you guys don't use?" And I was on a team that did not have a swerve drive at that point. And he said, "Oh, we have this thing called the graveyard." And he brought, and I don't remember the student's name, brought the student over that manages the graveyard. And he says, "Hey, do you think we could put four swerve modules together for Coach Ekman?" And that student said yes. And um, I think, oh, it wasn't at States, it was Jackson's event, at Jackson's event that we were competing with each other. And we were my team was getting their butt kicked. And I said, we got to do Swerve next year. And I reached out to him. That story was at Jackson. And then he handed me a bucket full of Swerve modules, some with motors, at state championships to spring my team that next season right into the fold with Swerve. So thank you, 302. Thank you, Bruce. That is the perfect catalyst. And when you said, Tim, hey, you said, Pete, I have an idea. Let's do this. I was like, let's go. Let's jump on board. I'm ready to go. Just tell me what to do. Tell me how you need help. So, Bruce, what do you think do you remember that story?
I do. I remember the names of the students.
Okay,
It
put
was
their names
Erin that
out
owned the
there.
graveyard, and she's the
Yeah.
one that shared those parts with you. And I agree. I mean, when Tim brought this up, I mean, all in, and so all the parts that we've been collecting, there's no home for them, and so you move on from brush motors to brushless, and then you have all these brush motors. And I learned, I helped out. My company sponsored Battle Creek Central last year, and so I went out and visited Battle Creek Central team. I know, Pete, I'm rubbing you the wrong way here, but we sponsored Battle Creek Central, and I went over and I visited them. And when I saw their build space, I saw the pride that these kids had in what they were doing. I then went home and shared that with our team. And the next, I listened to what they had, what they didn't have, and made a box for them. And the next when I came over there to deliver their sponsor check, came with two huge boxes of parts. And I follow the team, and those boxes of parts went on the robot. And Catholics, or Battle Creek Central is a big school, but it doesn't have all the funding that we have as a in our community. So then Tim says, well, why don't we do this for everybody? And so I think I told Tim the story that didn't, I'm sure that didn't inspire me. He had the ideas before I showed up, but um, just the idea of helping teams one by one, giving them the resources, getting them, when you can buy a $30 motor for $3.90 in shipping, it's a really good deal for these teams. And we all have parts that we are no longer using because either we moved on or, we always use a new part on our comp bot because we want to make sure that we're, continuously competitive throughout the season. And then we have a box of old parts. And where are those old parts going to go? And so this is an absolutely phenomenal thing that Tim's come up with, and I'm happy to be involved.
Josh, tell us what you think because I knew you jumped right on board. I remember you were like, let's go. So how do you see this program? How can it help the teams in your local area?
Yeah, there's, even before this program, we consistently found ourselves at events helping teams. Um, we stock our pit at competitions with components that we know that we don't have on our robot, but other teams commonly do. So it, we all want to win events, but it tastes a whole lot better to win an event when you're playing against teams who have a chance to win themselves. So leveling up everybody through donation of parts and through just supporting them in any way that you possibly can. As Tim mentioned this organization to me, I couldn't even say no. It was instant yes. Um, it we've found over the years, like Bruce, that we've changed out systems. Tim alluded to the fact that he ended up with an exorbitant amount of pneumatics. We have a philosophy on the team that we try to not use pneumatics, and we had 15 years worth of components that someone else can use instead of them sitting as a paperweight in our shop.
So Tim, Josh just gave me a brilliant idea, and we're brainstorming right on this podcast. We don't have a catchphrase yet. I would like to nominate at our next board meeting that our catchphrase is, we help teams level up.
Thanks.
I like it.
See, workshopping, podcasting, and recording all at the same time. Good idea, Josh. I agree. So I can't wait to see where it does. So Tim, give us a little bit more details. We gave the website addresses. We'll put that in the show notes. Make sure people can get out there. We talked about shipping. All we're asking is for shipping. If teams want to donate, how do they reach out? Who do they reach out? And how can they provide those things right now?
So for right now, if you go to the website, you can contact me through the website. But also for now, let's do that until I can get my corporate email set up.
501c3.
That's still in process. But word of mouth, I've been contacting all the teams in the local area around me, and with the help of all three of you, you all have been great and super supportive in this. So it's been just unbelievable. But this whole community is just amazing, because you tell somebody that what you're doing, and the next thing you know, you've got 10 people literally standing in line waiting to help. And it is literally a little overwhelming at times, just because of the amount of response that you get. But it's amazing. It's what I love about this. This is why I want to do this, and this is what really has drawn me to giving back as much as I can to this community. One thing I didn't mention is that we're also going to be doing tools. One of the things that I've been picking up is hand tools. I'm working on getting power tools and even benchtop tools. So as of right now, I have 2 or 3 benchtop tools that will be going up on the site as well, that we can get to somebody. Obviously, that's not going to be an item we're going to ship, so we'll have to figure out some logistics behind that. But one step at a time.
Teams, if they want them, they'll come get them.
We'll figure it out one way or
Figure out a
another.
way.
I mean, it's I'm not going to make somebody drive all the way across the state. But
No,
maybe we'll.
Well, what I'm saying is we could play Caravan or something of that nature. There's always a way to get something when a team needs something, like Josh says, even at a competition,
Yep,
right?
yep, absolutely. So,
So is
like
it
I
safe?
said,
Go ahead, Tim. Sorry.
no, no, that's fine.
So is it safe to say, I think we talked about Josh, you're in a week one event, and Bruce, you're at a week one event, right?
Yep.
If I remember correctly, Josh, you're at Lake City, and
Correct?
Bruce, you're at
Ferndale.
Ferndale. So if teams are going to those events and they want to donate things, is it safe to say you guys might have some type of device to take in, like a box or a tote to take in some of those things at those events?
Yeah, I think
Certainly.
yeah, what we've talked about is we're going to get, we'll have some paperwork so that the teams can be recognized. If you go to the website, it's pretty cool because a lot of the comment stuff has been posted, and you can see this motor came from the comments. Or if you look at the shipping labels will say what team, how that team flowed to you. And so we want to collect the parts. They'll fill out a little bit of paperwork so that we know what they put in, what they gave, and then what their team number was, so that we can continue recognition through it. And I think both the Comets and 302 will have a place in which teams can come and bring stuff. And because we're now managing to do it on both sides of the state, we should hopefully we're going to see some action and continue to grow the inventory of the things that Tim can get posted on the site.
Yep, my
If you
team.
do bring
Go ahead,
if you
Josh.
do bring us stuff to Lake City, just please don't drop it in our pit and run. We'd love to. We need to fill out the paperwork, and then
Yes.
our students don't go, "What is this box of stuff?" I don't know.
No worries. We don't want to screw up the fine oiled machine that is the Comet's um, pit, because you guys do a really good job. I'm just giving you kudos on that. Something I'd like to have for myself is those super pits. At week two, I'm volunteering myself, Tim, and my team 3658 will be at St. Joe. There's a lot of powerhouse teams out there. I will be calling Corey Walters from the two-time champ to see what they have over at Striker that they may be able to give to us. So Corey, I know you watch this. You can expect a call. Please take it. He will. No
Yeah,
worries.
I would love a bunch of the teams local to us, 33-27. Um, the teams up north, the Biting Bulldogs, uh,
Average Joe's out
the
here in the
Grand Blanc,
West. I
Average
mean,
Joe's on your side of the state, the engineers over here. I know those are all the great teams, and the Lapeer teams too. So, it's oh, and Goodrich, forget about the Martians and more Martians.
oh yeah,
I need to reach out to them soon. So,
I'll get you that number. We'll bridge the
okay.
gap. John, you're in. You watch this. I'm calling you too. So, and you got a team right across the hallway from you too. So, Strike Zone, Chimeras. I know you guys
Yep,
have stuff.
there you go.
So I think you're gonna need a warehouse pretty soon, Tim.
Bruce has offered as much room as I need, so my
Oh,
my goal is to fill it up.
okay.
Yeah, we have so we were blessed with a the schools allowed us to expand into the old high school.
Oh,
So we
okay.
have our full field. We have a full field in that area, as well as we have a build shop that we primarily use for the FTC teams. But there are like 5 adjacent classrooms that all I got to do is put shelving in, and that's going to be a great place for a lot of the overflow and stuff that
Yep.
Tim's going to need. We got shelving units, and we'll be able to manage the inventory to be able to help facilitate.
As your students would say, nice mild flex there, Bruce.
Mild.
That yeah, slightly mild. Um, so I can't wait. I think it's gonna blow up like crazy. I can't wait. I know I'm on the hook. I'm on the hook to get a logo done, so I'm still working on that, Tim, but I'm gonna have some demos to you
Good,
pretty soon so that we can kick
awesome.
this thing off right with the Reefscape and then see where it goes from there. Moonshot, right?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm telling you.
All right. So we talked about the Red Alliance. Let's go back to Reefscape. So we're segmenting. That wasn't a really good brand. I can't even remember the word that you use when you do that. Segue. There we go. Just like the rolling two thing. Hey, I brought Dean Keeman into this. Maybe he's got some stuff in his shop, right, Tim? Reach out to Dean Keeman. That's
There
what
you
it
go.
does. But the one last thing I want to say wrapped around the Red Alliance before we switch gears is that me personally, I miss Woody Flowers more than anything. I think that's one of the things that drew me to robotics was Woody and his personality. And I think this would be something that Woody would be proud that's being done. So I always say, what would
Yeah.
Woody do? I think Woody would do done this or congratulate us. So just my viewpoint. Now we can switch gears. Okay. So we've talked about LG. We talked about ground intakes, which we're not going to do on our robot yet, maybe between week 1 or week 2 and week 4. What other things about the game, Bruce, do you think teams or what should teams be doing right now? We're at the tail end of week 3 because we're recording on Tuesday in week 3. So what should teams be doing right now?
They need to start thinking about finalizing all of their design elements. Make sure that they kind of know what they're doing, finish up their testing, knowing what they're going to do. You know, if they're a CAD centric team, their CAD should be pretty mature by this point and knowing what they're going to do so they can build. You know, if they're building as they go and figuring it out as the solutions, hopefully they've got a lot of the ideas that they can see work. And don't forget that the parts are starting to run out at all the big vendors. You know, whether it's Andy Mark or Rev or there's a lot of things. Even this weekend, I went to go order, like we ran out of a couple parts and went to go order them. Can't order them now. Machining pieces to do what I was trying to do with off the shelf cut parts. And so make sure that you're getting the orders in and know what you need and then always order one more. If you needed 3, order the 4th one because you can drill the hole in the wrong place. You can strip it out. You can drop it on the floor. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong, and whether it's doing during your build or in the pit while you're trying to fix it. So always have one extra.
Especially timing belts. Timing belts, you better order more than just one extra,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Josh, what should teams be doing other than skiing in Montana in week 3?
Um, this is so it's funny because this ski trip, you poke fun at me for doing it, but week 3, week 4 is historically the time of burnout. Um, it's the point in time which you have pushed so hard and so fast to get all your testing done to know what you need to do. And if you're CAD centric, um, a lot of your parts might not be machined yet. So maybe that's down to, 3 machining centers running off your parts, and there's a lot of people sitting around twiddling thumbs. Um, and right now is the eye of the storm of the season, and it's important to take time for yourself, take time for your family, because you're about to get smacked by the upcoming side as you get into your final push for competition season. Um, Comets historically has done a week 3 or week 4 Saturday afternoon team building exercise. So we drop robots completely. We actually go bowling for a
Oh,
couple hours,
it's cool.
and it's uh, even the people who claim to not be athletes can bowl and have fun doing it, and um, get to have a good time, right?
Yeah.
No one had a bad time bowling.
That is a fat jack. And I only josh you Josh because I care. I only pick on people I care about. So that's why I'm picking on you. And you like picking on me too, so it's fine.
Yeah, we just know you're slow. That's all
Oh, we'll find out this year. L4, baby.
right.
Just kidding.
Oh,
Um, Tim, you have a lot of experience. I cannot remember how many years you were a mentor. How many years were you a mentor?
7.
Okay. So you've been in week 3. What should teams be doing from your perspective?
I just will have to agree with both Bruce and Josh. I don't know that I can add anything. They hit it right on. Um, Bruce has done an amazing job. So with 302, he picked up the ball and he just took it to the next level from what I had it. So, you know, he's spot on with what he's doing. And same with Josh. I mean, Josh, the Comets organization is just, they're phenomenal. So I learned a lot from them when I was first trying to figure things out. So they're a good resource and a good team to model after. So if somebody's looking for something, both 302 and 3357 are good model teams to be trying to pick up tips from. So
Yep. I think I can give some a little piece of advice. I know you said, Bruce, that you tried to order parts and now you're milling the parts, right? If there's teams that are out there and they miss the boat by buying an elevator system or something that is back ordered on every site that you can go to, make sure you reach out to experienced teams in your area that might have extra parts or may be able to help you with some milling stuff. That's what First is all about, just like the Red Alliance, right?
Yep.
It's all about helping those teams. So those first year, second year, third year teams may not have milling capabilities or a plasma cut, a plasma table, or a CNC machine, but that doesn't mean you can't reach out to other teams in the area, right?
That's right.
Just do it. Just do it. Don't wait for something to come back off order because it's some of the look at some of the shipping dates that says fall 2025. You got to find somewhere else, even if it's Amazon. I'm just saying, you might find some stuff on Amazon or go to the Red Alliance and seeing if you can get some stuff, right? Full circle. All right. We have done this for 40 straight minutes, and I've got a lot of stuff to do, especially for Tim. I still got to get a logo done. So, as you sign out, tell us again who you are and who you're with. And Tim, this is the perfect time to say the Red Alliance again. And
it
then
is.
how we follow your teams. So, Tim, you go first.
So I'm Tim Lawrence. I'm the president of the redalliance.net. Please reach out to us and see what we got. And if you have extra parts that you want to give away, please contact me through the website and we'll get in touch and figure out how to get them.
Yep. And cool stickers, future coming once we have a logo. Bruce, you're up next.
Yep.
All right, Bruce Stone, lead competition mentor from Team 302, and you can follow us on team302.org or on our Instagram or Facebook, and we also have some, I think, some videos posted out there of what we've got going on.
Josh.
Perfect. Yeah. Josh Dunstan, FRC Team 3357, the Comets, lead technical mentor and drive coach. Follow us on Instagram or find us at fhrobotics.org.
Thank you guys for coming on board. Can't wait to see what we can do with the Red Alliance.